if you're going to have a political party that actually has some political traction, you have to make decisions like this. Right? There is a point at which certain kinds of options that one normally entertains in the company of like-minded people, you have to say, well, look, we're not going to actually, this is not going to be a big priority for us. This other thing is going to be a big priority. And you have to be very clear, because otherwise you're not going to have a clear message. And the great thing about the coffin, right, that's floating around America at the moment, is the message is very clear what the top priority is. And everything is subserved to that. Right? So all the other issues of transhumanism that seem to not quite fit the immortality line, right, kind of drop out of the picture. Right? There's a sense in which that is kind of what works in politics. I was talking to someone before we started that, socialism existed for quite a long time in Europe before Marx came on the scene, okay? And most of those socialists who Marx derided as utopian socialists were guys like David. Basically, guys who have who can give you a list of 15 principles that we're striving toward, and then give you a couple of what should we call them? Sort of showcase examples of where they work. So I've got this little town in Indiana called New Harmony, and we've got a little socialist commune going up here. Now let's scale it up. No politics is really involved. There's just the power of the imagination, right? And of course that doesn't work. It's easily compromised, and all these utopian socialists become sellouts or they're killed, okay? Marx, on the other hand, got very clear about what the central message was that was going to galvanize people and subserved everything about it. It was class struggle, right? So in other words, rather than just, his view was rather than just focusing on the end point, focus on the thing you need to do now to get anywhere near the end point, okay? And so, in this regard, those of you who were here yesterday, Stefano Vai, right, the Italian lawyer, right, he was talking about this business, and this was mentioned by some of the other people, that, the acceleration of technology that transforms the human condition, which is very much part of what pretty much all transhumanists believe, doesn't happen by itself. You need legal and political regimes in place that actually enable the acceleration to continue, because there's a lot of things already in place that could actually stop it from happening. And so unless you get the legal regime right, the regulatory regime right, in other words, unless you think at that level, you're never going to get anywhere near what the end point's supposed to be. So that's where, as it were, the political activity ought to be focused. And I think that is basically, if you want to do something analogous to what Marx was doing, right, it seems to me this is kind of where you should shift your focus.